Yo, what is good? My anime faithful, what is good, yo? Let's talk about this special force. Man, um, to think that this show was going to turn out like this, I'm actually relatively happy. It's very crime heavy. It's very, like it has a lot of suspense and stuff like that that I wasn't expecting, including there's a lot of just human like bad humans in general. Like I don't know how else to explain it. Like just feels like everybody who's evil as of right now is just a human person. Um, but overall, well, yeah, mainly probably because there's not too many uh, unworldly things like the crew that we have. So that's already a little interesting detail that they've kind of sprinkled in there, is that these characters might not be like the way we see these characters in the Special Seven. People don't normally see them like that all the time, which is probably another reason why our main character had to work with them and was like removed from the force or whatever, just in case he saw too much or something like along those lines, maybe like of their abilities and how abnormal they are compared to humans. But overall, I definitely did like this episode's like mode, and I didn't really care for them pairing up the two characters to, like test it out when they could have just sent out the most capable characters instead of just being like, oh, we're gonna test the waters and see how this plays out. It's like, oh, but there's people dying. Nah, we're just gonna test out our new recruit with our guy that is the analyzer. So we definitely have more to maybe take away from their like relationships or like their good cop bad cop act, kind of. I don't know how to, they're really weird to me. Like just like the way that they played out this episode with these characters was weird to me. So I do look forward to seeing what they'll do at the end of the day, because if any, like the analyzer guy, it makes sense that he would probably have somebody who can back him with some information, including with how much hatred and stuff like that he has for just certain aspects of things we can see as a whole. We can see that he doesn't care to not believe in innocence until proven guilty, right? Like if all the things are lining up and saying that you did it, he's just gonna go with that. Like he doesn't need anything else. Everything in the research is lining up saying that you did it, so why look any further when you have this much pointing towards that direction, right? So that's the kind of character I see him as, and there's nothing bad with it. I think the show definitely is better and more promising because he's that type of character. That you need all different types to fill to feel that feel of like, why would this character make this decision? Why would this character make that decision? It's because some of these characters are grounded completely differently, which then makes it open to discussion of if they do these things, was it good or was it bad? And some of them might think it is good simply because they they don't have anybody else in the grand scheme to be like, oh no, it was wrong. Or usually those people will straight up get bodied. So I'm just really interested to see overall how this plays out in the grand scheme, because I've seen a lot of shows that had this type of tone, but we got to remember that there's still talks of dragons, and there's still talks of this organization that's absolutely powerful, but at the same time their one attempt at trying to beat the Special Seven fails. So they're obviously not that great, but they still do have some promise when it comes down to them beating us as a whole. So there's that. But as But as the show like progressed this week, or this progressed in just this week's episode, it felt like the characters, the world, everything was being built up very well. Even though we already kind of have that stuff answered, it still felt like they were paying attention to the smaller details of how, you know, certain people were reacting. For instance, finding out the dealer the whole time was the one who was, you know, in fault this whole time, and they literally went to him, had signs of it being him, and they still missed the mark. So it's stuff like that that gives you hope and promise for the show to continue those types of trends and not really give up on just keeping this mood, keeping these types of cases, because you can only go up from here. Like, you can make cases not as crazy, or, you know, people don't die or whatever. I mean, they straight up took out 2 children this week with like bombs. So it's crazy to think that there's days where it's ever calm in this city, like that people don't just get hurt every single day. Feels impossible to see that. So that's another thing what I mean by like world building, is they always take it and go into, you know, the next couple of years, because they literally just can do that, and they will. So I do appreciate when they do it and it actually plays out well. I want to change my weapon. But yeah, so our main character, being the straightforward person that he is, if he wasn't there, I think this man might have lost his life. Or I don't know how many other people would have went out of their way to stop him, but as of what we saw, they were definitely about to lose their life. And there's not too much you can do for people that don't save themselves. And because of that, that's why he pretty much would have lost it. Like, he not only tried to take out the kid once, he then tries to take him out again with another bomb. So off rip, he's scum. And we can see in the future of, if these situations happen, if our guy who actually is the analyzer, if he's going to take that shot quicker, or if he's going to remember what happened this week and, you know, not react as harshly or something. I don't know. The thing I want to see with shows usually is things that carry over. Give reasons to watching the first couple of episodes, because if you didn't watch the episodes, certain relationships wouldn't make sense. Stuff like that really does make a show better, in my opinion. And because of that, it feels like they can easily do that with these two's experience just now, including with him still going out of his way to get the information from a back source. You know, like, he's straight up getting all of this information from a dude that we only see in the beginning of the show disappear, and then at the end of the show when he reappears after knowing everything that happened in the situation. So he's got close contacts to all of this, and I think that is another thing to be worried about when it comes down to this character that is giving him all this information, and, you know, maybe even swaying his opinions, judgment, and stuff like that. So we'll see how all this works out at the end. I hope you guys are having an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be when you're watching this. I am your boy, the Anime G, and I will definitely talk to you in the next one. So let me know how you guys are feeling about this. This show definitely has some hype about it to be hyped about, and if you aren't hyped about it, you can always come back here to know why you should be, because I'll try to hype you up, because all I know right now is the organization's literally been moving in the background the whole time, and I think it's going to be something crazy that they're going to try to pull off. And if it is ridiculously crazy that they pull off, you know your boy's going to be the first one talking about it, you know. Nah, but have an amazing one, everybody. I hope you guys take care and have an awesome day, night, evening, whenever you watch this. yeah, but I think this will be my last video today, so yeah, I will definitely talk to you tomorrow, or if you guys are subbed, I may drop something randomly, so keep your eye out for that.